Welcome everyone to INE's course on implementing multicast VPNs on Cisco IOS XR and XE. My name is Brian McGann and I'll be your instructor for these particular class sessions. So first and foremost, I want to talk about what we're going to be covering in this course, and it's mainly going to be two main components. First of which is going to be a review of intra-AS multicast. So we'll talk about sparse mode multicast, source-specific multicast, bidirectional PIM, and then we'll look at functionally what's going on in terms of the configuration and also behind the scenes. We're going to be spending a lot of time looking at packet captures in this particular course. And then the main thing that we're going to be looking at is the multicast VPN deployment models, what's also called the MVPN profiles. And there's so many profiles, there's about 25 or more of them that are basically different combinations of how you do signaling, how you do the encapsulation, and we're going to try to demystify those here and look at some of the common elements of them. Now, a disclaimer for this course, like I mentioned, the course name is iOS XR and iOS XE. We're doing this course in virtualization. We're not using hardware ASR 9Ks, which means that the XRV has some issues with the multicast data plane, and in certain profiles it also has issues with the multicast control plane. So from a functional example point of view, we should be able to use iOS XE, which is the CSR 1000Vs, but don't be surprised if we run into a situation where XRV is not behaving the way as a real hardware router would. Okay, but at least from a theory point of view, we can see what are the differences between the deployment models in regular iOS and iOS XE. Okay, in terms of other recommended resources, there's going to be two main documents that we're going to be leaning on, which are configuring MVPN profiles in Cisco iOS and then iOS XR. So it just starts at profile 0 and then works all the way up to profile whatever, 26, I believe, something like that. Now, in my case here, these examples are going to be pre-built simply because there's a lot of repetitive configuration in terms of enabling PIM on all of the interfaces, in terms of the BGP peerings. So I don't want to spend all day just building the core of the network from the MPLS Layer 3 VPN point of view and the core of multicast routing. So we're mainly going to be focusing on the functionality of this as opposed to doing the configurations from scratch. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to mention here is the Cisco Live session that is MVPN deployment models. So I would definitely recommend to take a look at that one. Only main difference between that presentation and this one is they don't go over the hands-on CLI examples. So in our case here, vast majority of the class is going to be in or on the CLI as opposed to slideware.